introduction to the strategy. So as we are all taught, the market trends in this form. This is how we are taught that the market trends. Now this will be regarded as a downtrend, but in real sense the market structure will look something like this. Now this is a realistic way on how the market structure will look like. This is a realistic way on how structure will look like. Now let's go straight to the charts and I'll get right into it. So now we'll start our analysis on 13th February from this point right here. So the first thing, we'll mark our low, which is this point. We'll mark our low at this point. Now this is our low. Our analysis is from this point. Let's begin. Once this low is taken out, the first thing, from the previous videos, you now know how to mark your inducements. So an inducement is basically a pullback in the market. Now this is your pullback. This will be your pullback at this point. This will be your pullback at this point. Now this will be your inducement. This will be inducement. Sorry, a minute. This will be your inducement at this point. Once the inducement is taken out, that's when you are looking for your POI for you to take a trade to go to the downside. Now once this low is broken at this point, this one becomes our new low. Let's mark it. This one will become our low. Once our inducement is taken out, we look for a POI above these highs. Our POI, we mark it on the 1 hour time frame. We mark it on the 1 minute time frame. So now when our inducement is taken out at this point right here, we look for our POI, which is a double marabuzo. From the previous videos, you now know what a double marabuzo is. This will be our double marabuzo at this point. We find a 1 hour tapping, a 1 hour rejection on this red candle. This is a 1 hour rejection. Once we have a rejection at this point, we look for a 15-minute FVG. We look for a 15-minute FVG. From the previous videos, you know we look for 3 types of FVGs: the balanced, the implied, and the inverse FVG. So at this point, once we have a 1 hour rejection, we look for an FVG at this point. At this point, we don't see a clear FVG here. We will regard this as an implied. We can mark this as our implied FVG. But this is a short wick, this is a long wick. From the previous videos, you know how we identify our implied FVG. So at that point, there will be no trade, but this will be the high that broke this low. So you remember, structure is key. Structure is key. Let's mark this as our high, that point. So now once this high breaks this low, we mark our inducement, which is this. Now this is our pullback. It looks something like this. Came here. This one is our first pullback. This is our second pullback at this point. Now our inducement will be at this point. Our inducement will be at that point. Let me delete this one. Our inducement will be at this point. As you can see, the market comes, takes out inducement. We go to the 1 hour. We are on the 1 hour. We find a rejection at this red candle. Once it rejects and closes, we are looking for an FVG at this candle, which is at 15. That's where we'll be looking for our FVG, and our PY will be at this point. Sorry. Once the inducement is taken out, we have this double maru right here, double marabuzo right here. Please watch the previous videos on how to mark a double marabuzo, what's a double marabuzo. Then we go to the 15-minute to find our FVG. So now we are on the 15-minute. Now we are looking for an FVG. At this point, we'll find an implied FVG right here. We measure 50% of this week and 50% of the red week. For purposes of time, we'll just estimate here is 50% of this red candle, here is 50% of the green candle. We mark that as our FVG. Now we are looking for our GP, which is our gold print. We go to the 5-minute or 3-minute. Let's look for it on 3-minute time frame. Here we are. Here we are on the 3-minute time frame. We look for our GP. In the previous video, I've taught you how to mark your GP, what's a GP, how to easily identify it. So at this point, we'll be looking for our GP, which is this at this point. Let me use the head and shoulder pattern to clearly mark it at this point. There is your left shoulder, there is your head. How a lot of people are taught how to trade a head and shoulder is you sell at the left shoulder. You see, it gave you a slight reaction, then failed, then took you out. So we capitalize on the violation of the head and shoulder pattern, or you can call it a QM, you can call it a change of character. So at this point is where you will mark your GP. The GP will mark it at this point. There, mark it at that point. As you can see, the market causes a 1 hour rejection here. There is a 15-minute FVG. It retests this GP right here, forms a QMM, which is a QM manipulation or a change of character manipulation or a head and shoulder manipulation, which I'll draw it right here. We'll use the head and shoulder pattern again. As you can see, the market trends downwards, gives us this, then this becomes our head, then comes back here. A lot of people will be looking to buy from the left shoulder, but as you can see, it gives you a small reaction, manipulates, then sells. So your entry would have been at this point, your trade would have been at this point. It will be a short position. Your entry would have been at the retest of the FVG. Stop loss above the highs. You give it a small room to breathe because of spread and all that. You target the previous strong low, which is this there. That would have been a very beautiful trade. Now let me delete these ones to make our charts clean. Let's delete this one. There we go. So let's mark our structure. We go back to the 15-minute where we'll be marking structure. So where was our low? Our low was at this point. At this point, this was our low. Our inducement was taken out right here. Our low was taken out right here. This was our high, which broke this low. Then this was our low. Now from the previous video, when a strong high is broken, that means this becomes a change of character. That means that the trend has stopped being bearish. Now we are reversed to a bullish trend. As you can see at this point, this becomes our change of character at this point. Let me mark it. Let me just change the color. Let's put red. Now this one is our change of character right here. Once the change of character happens right here, we'll mark our inducement. An inducement is a pullback, so at this point we'll be marking our inducement at this point. Here was our move upwards, our pullback, then went back up, then came back, took out the inducement. At this part we mark our POI on the 1 hour. We mark our POI on the 1 hour. So we are looking at our POI will be below this inducement. So at this point, let me delete this one. At this point, this from the previous video, you know, when a double Marabuzo fails, we call it a blind spot. So we'll mark this one as our blind spot. Sorry. Sorry, my mouse is misbehaving. We mark this as our double Marabuzo. So we wait for market to come. We can make because this is a very big zone. We can make it smaller by going to the 30-minute and finding a more specific and and small POI to mark. When we go to the 30-minute, we might find a POI at this point right here. At this point right here, in the 1 hour double marabuzo, we find an engulfing candle, so we'll mark the engulfing candle to make our zone smaller. Then when market taps on your POI, you look for a rejection. You look for a rejection right here. Once you find a rejection on the 1 hour, you go down to the 15-minute, find an FVG. Where do we find our FVG at this point? This is our implied FVG. We mark it right here, 50% of this week, 50% of the red candle. There we go. We mark our GP. We go to the 3-minute time frame. We are on the 3-minute time frame. We are looking for our GP. Our GP, we are looking for a GP on this leg. We can't clearly see a GP anywhere around here, so we scale down to the 1 minute. I'm not sure if the chart will go that back, but let's see. We're on the 1 minute time frame. Sorry, the chart cannot go that far, but let's use the 3-minute time frame to mark our GP. I'll show a video. I'll put up here a video where I analyzed the GP was somewhere around here. I'll insert a clip of when I took this trade. The GP was around here. The GP was around here. The GP was around here. The market came, reacted from the GP, retested this 15-minute FVG. Then our entry would have been at this point, long position. Let me delete this one. Long position from this point right here. Our stop loss right below these lows. We target this high, those highs. As you can see, the market played on very well. So that was just to show you that we have a system that works. We have the system that repeats. So catch us for the full analysis of this whole trend on our VIP channel. I can quickly analyze for you this part, which this is today's market. So what were we looking for today? Today we were looking for, this was our low. I'll just quickly analyze today's market. This was our low right here. This was our high right here. This was our change of character right here. Now trend has stopped being bearish. Now we are on a bearish trend. Where is our inducement? Right here. This is our pullback. As you can see here, we'll not regard this as a pullback, because this low of this candle is right here, the high is here. So as you can see, there is no candle which goes above this, so this is not a pullback. But you can see this low of this candle, the market goes, takes out the high, then comes here, that comes back to this low. So this will be your inducement at this point. So this will be your low, this will be your low at this point. At this point, above this inducement, we look for our POI, which is at most mostly is the double marabuzo, obviously. Here it is. We wait for this 1 hour rejection. So at this green candle, when it's forming, then that's when we are looking for our 15-minute FVG. FVG is at this point. FVG is at this point. As you can see, there is a reason why the market, once this FVG is tapped into, there is a reason why these candles just wick above. So at this point right here, we'll be looking for our GP here. We go to the 3-minute time frame. We go to the 3-minute time frame. We'll find our GP around this point. As you can see, let's use our head and shoulder pattern. Here is our left shoulder, here is our head. Market gave us a slight reaction at this point, faked us out, then took people out. So this will be our GP right here. At this point right here, obviously market comes, reacts from this point, gives us another failed QMM, head and shoulder, change of character, whatever you call it at that point. Then how a head and shoulder pattern is traded, you buy from the left shoulder. So there are people who bought from this point targeting these highs, but us would have been looking for a sell at this point, short position at this point, stop loss above that high. We target this low, on which that would have been a beautiful trade for the day. So this would have been a very beautiful trade for the day, for today. But now if you want to learn how to mark structure like this, read the charts like this, through this video you can tell that our system works. You can reach us out, and we have a full video on where we are analyzing this whole trend right here. From this point right here to this point, we are making sense of all this chaos. reach us out, and yeah, have a nice time. Until next time, goodbye.